Was arrested and booked for her husband's killing. Shortly after her arrest, former KCSO spokesperson Ray Pruitt telling 23 ABC at the time evidence was pointing toward Todd's wife, Leslie Chance.
We do believe she is the person who drove his vehicle to that neighborhood and left it in that neighborhood and then walked away from the vehicle.
Despite evidence and what investigators believed at the time, 5 days after her arrest, Chance was released from jail a day before she was scheduled to appear in court. The DA's office telling 23 ABC the case was sent back to KCSO for further review. But she was placed on administrative leave from Fairview Elementary after serving as the principal and working in the district for 16 years. Teachers, staff, and district officials stunned by the news at the time.
Shock, disbelief, and people feeling like they got the wrong person, made a mistake, just kind of out of character.
But nearly 3 years later, Leslie was arrested for the second time and charged with first-degree murder of her husband with special circumstances of financial gain. Court documents reveal Leslie filed claims on 4 separate life insurance policies 2 years after Todd's death, worth $500,000.
But we're confident that there's enough evidence to show that Leslie Chance is responsible for Mr. Chance's shooting death.
Earlier this year, a conflict of interest with the public defender's office led to a mistrial. But now, nearly 6 years after Todd's body was found, a jury has been selected in the case.
Now again, opening statements are set to take place right here at Kern County Superior Courthouse starting Monday at 10 a.m. Officials tell us this trial could last up to 3 to 4 months, so make sure in the coming weeks and months you are following along on all of our social media platforms. We will be providing live updates from inside the courtroom right there where you'll be able to access them. But for now, live in Central Bakersfield, I'm Tori Cooper for 23 ABC News, connecting you.
Well, in its latest round of job cuts this year, Halliburton Company is laying off 70 employees at its Bakersfield plant. The U.S. oilfield services firm is struggling with falling profits amid slowing oil and gas activity. The company reported a drop in third-quarter profit earlier in October and vowed to cut more costs to save $300 million annually. It recently closed a plant in El Reno, Oklahoma that impacted about 800 employees. According to Reuters, earlier in October, the company cut 650 jobs across Colorado, Wyoming, New Mexico, and North Dakota. Halliburton has released a statement on the layoffs. It read in part, quote, Halliburton is making adjustments to its workforce in Bakersfield due to local market conditions. They added, we value every employee, but unfortunately we are faced with the difficult reality that reductions are necessary as we work to align our operations to reduced customer activity. We want to turn now to the latest on the deadly shooting at a naval base in Florida. Authorities say the gunman was a Saudi national who was training at the facility. Officials say the shooting suspect was training as a pilot at the Pensacola Naval Air Base. Authorities say he opened fire inside a classroom this morning, killing 3 people and injuring 8 more. The base went on lockdown and deputies were on the scene in minutes, returning fire inside the facility. Investigators say 2 deputies were shot. Both are expected to survive. The suspect was killed at the scene.
And so in one of the darkest days, I think, of the base's history, you still saw some of that bravery and grit come out.
This morning's incident, the second deadly shooting on an American Navy base in just 3 days. On Wednesday, a sailor opened fire at the historic shipyard in Pearl Harbor, killing 2 civilians, then himself. The FBI Miami office says 2 41-year-old men robbed a jewelry store before stealing a UPS truck and kidnapping the driver. This was the scene Friday, several hours after Thursday's tragedy, where police were investigating exactly what unfolded. The 2 suspects were killed when police closed in on them on a busy interstate. The exchange of gunfire left 2 others dead, a bystander and the kidnapped UPS driver. Tomorrow, a ceremony will be held remembering the attack on Pearl Harbor that happened nearly 80 years ago. It was a surprise aerial attack on the U.S. naval base at Pearl Harbor in Hawaii made by the Imperial Japanese Navy Air Service. The attack happened December 7th, 1941, 78 years ago. And tomorrow, community members will remember the historic day at Union Cemetery, located on the corner of Potomac and King Streets. The day will also honor Doris Dory Miller, a U.S. Navy Cross recipient. There will be music, bagpipers, military honors, and a balloon release happening at 9:55 tomorrow morning. Well, we have an update on the string of robberies that occurred in East Bakersfield earlier this week. Bakersfield police are still searching for the two men they say may have been responsible for 3 strong-armed robberies. Officials have released a description of the vehicle used in the robberies Wednesday night. They're asking for the public's help in locating the suspected vehicle. Now, police are looking for an older white minivan similar to a Dodge Caravan with black wheels. Anyone with information is asked to call police at 327-7111. The California Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control shutting down the sale of alcohol for an event at a banquet hall in Southeast Bakersfield after the owners were caught illegally selling alcohol without a license and that alcohol was being sold to minors. Officials said on November 15th they teamed up with KCSO to bust the banquet hall located at 1430 Weed Patch Highway. According to officials, event organizers were selling alcohol and promoting events through social media platforms. Authorities added the promoter would also change their locations. More than 50 cases of beer and more than 50 bottles of distilled spirits worth more than $15,000 were seized. ABC telling 23 ABC News that the hall was not shut down, only the selling of alcohol for that night was shut down. A man is accused of killing a university student in Michigan. Attorneys for the defendant say he was unarmed and is being framed. Court TV's Julie Grant has more on the proceedings.
Hello to you. I'm Julie Grant with Court TV, and day number 1 of testimony is underway in the next big trial we're covering for you here on Court TV Live. It is Michigan versus Stephen Washington. Washington is accused of murdering Michigan State University student Isai Barones. Barones was a 22-year-old senior when he was shot to death in October of 2018 outside of an East Lansing apartment complex after he stepped into a fight between 4 girls. Prosecutors say that Washington shot Barones, but Washington's defense attorneys say that he was unarmed and that he is being framed for the crime, calling the state's witnesses who were at the brawl, quote, provable liars who had their own motives. If convicted, Washington faces life in prison. As always, you can count on Court TV for live gavel-to-gavel coverage. I'm Julie Grant. Now back to you in the studio.
We have a programming alert to tell you about. The Pac-12 championship football game between Utah and Oregon is airing right now on 23 ABC. The game kicked off at 5 p.m. and we are going to have another digital newscast at 6 o'clock, and there will be no 7 p.m. newscast tonight. A special edition of 23 ABC News is scheduled to air immediately following the game. Well, the California Highway Patrol is continuing to do its part in collecting new and unwrapped toys for children in need. 23 ABC's meteorologist Allison Guerrero joins us live from downtown Bakersfield, where the event is still happening tonight. Hey, Allison.
Hey, Jess. Yeah, the event is still happening. They have been out here since 5 a.m., but you still have time to donate. This toy drop-off event goes on until 6 p.m. As you can see, it is very windy out here, but don't worry. You don't even have to get out of your car. We will grab that toy for you. But this is put on by the Bakersfield CHP. Actually, their 10th year of doing this, so you can drop off that new and unwrapped toy. Some examples. We have some basketballs, some dolls, and then I think a lot of kids are going to get a kick out of this one. A cute little Olaf. Now, if you cannot make it to this event, you can still drop off until December 16th at the CHP office on Campagnoni Street, Motor City in the Auto Mall, all Walgreens stores, and at our 23 ABC studios at 321 21st Street. So they have all these toys out here, also bikes on the other side, and then they have an entire trailer full of toys that they have collected today. But again, you can drop off at any of those locations. Again, if you are heading out this evening though, be prepared to have an increase in winds, especially on the western portion of the valley and along the Grapevine. We are tracking a wind advisory. I have more details on that and when we will be seeing our next rain event coming up next.
All right, Allison, thanks. Well, Bakersfield College student Jose Bayo transforming into a local activist after being detained by ICE for the 2nd time in the past year back in April. Bayo's story sparking conversations across the country after 2 NFL players helped him bail out in August. Now, Bayo, along with other BC students, are bringing that conversation to the forefront locally. 23 ABC's Emma Lockhart has more on the Social Justice Forum set to take place at Bakersfield College on Tuesday and how you can get involved. Emma?
Jess, organizers of the first Dear America Social Justice Conversation Conference tell me the event aims at creating a diverse Not only about immigration, but other social issues as well. Bayo spearheading the event following injustices he says he faced after being detained by ICE hours after he recited a poem at the Truth Act Forum, a poem where he criticized Trump-era immigration policies.
We want to feel safe whether we're brown, Asian, or black. We don't want your jobs. We don't want your money. We're here to work hard, pay taxes, and study.
Those are the words of undocumented immigrant and Bakersfield College student Jose Bayo, words from a poem he recited at the Truth Act Forum, hosted by KCSO in April. 36 hours later, he was detained by ICE for the second time this year. The move sparking outrage from some, most notably Demario Davis of the New Orleans Saints and Josh Norman of the Washington Redskins, who helped post his $50,000 bond in August. The NFL players are part of the Players Coalition, a group of athletes fighting for social justice reform. Now, months later, Bayo is turning his gratitude into activism as he believes his rights were violated by ICE. Bayo, along with other BC students, are spearheading the first Dear America, a social justice conversation conference at Bakersfield College Tuesday. BC adjunct professor Ian Anderson helping those students lead the charge.
It's important to use this kind of a platform to be able to bring those topics to light in a very low-key, casual kind of way. The idea of this is really a coffee conversation.
Demario and Norman will be at the event speaking about how to improve social justice and racial equality.
Part of the goal of having the NFL players there is to kind of show that anybody and everybody cares about this topic and that we want to bring people together to really just kind of address that.
Anderson says the topic will go beyond just immigration, touching upon the injustices among the LGBTQ community, women, and African Americans. Bayo hoping the first open discussion acts as a catalyst, sparking an even bigger conversation beyond the event.
This is a really great opportunity for students and young people to get involved. We have election year coming up, so getting involved and knowing what's going on in your community is really important. And I think
Now, ICE says Jose Bayo entered the country illegally, and after he was detained the first time, they said he had known gang ties. Bayo disputes that and says ICE had the wrong person. Now, the event is taking place at BC's campus from 9 a.m. until 8 p.m. However, the event is sold out. Reporting in studio, Emma Lockhart, 23 ABC, connecting you.
Well, local students will be putting their knowledge of the U.S. Constitution to the test in an annual competition. It is the annual We the People Congressional Hearings Competition. Students will give oral presentations on 6 topics in hearings and will undergo rigorous questioning by government teachers and constitutional experts. Each competing school is divided into 6 teams for each of the 6 hearing topics. The schools include Centennial High, East, West, Ridgeview, Liberty, Arvin, Golden Valley, and more. It's happening tomorrow at Golden Valley High School from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. For the 36th year in a row, the Bakersfield Toy Run and Canned Food Drive is giving people an opportunity to help the Salvation Army. The annual parade and charity drive is this Sunday. Entry to the parade is 1 unwrapped child's toy and 2 non-perishable food items worth a combined $20, or you can just donate $20 in cash. The event starts Sunday at 7 a.m. at Beach Park. The parade starts at 10 a.m. and participants will ride from Beach Park to the Kern County Fairgrounds. Once at the fairgrounds, there will be live music and vendors until the event ends at 2 p.m. Oh, Christmas tree, what do you do with you after the holiday season? Well, you're encouraged to recycle your tree. According to County Public Works, there are some recycling and composting options available for free. In the Metro Bakersfield area, residents can place their tree into their green waste container as long as the tree is cut into small pieces and the container lid is completely closed. Residents can also self-haul whole Christmas trees to one of 23 drop-off locations throughout Kern County from December 26th until January 10th. For a full list of those locations, you can head to our website, turnto23.com. Another option is composting at home. You can cut up your tree and use it in your own compost pile as part of your own healthy mix. Well, tonight the California Highway Patrol is continuing to do its part in collecting new and unwrapped toys for children in need. 23 ABC's meteorologist Allison Gargaro joins us live from downtown Bakersfield, where the event is happening and the wind is blowing. Right, Allison?
Yeah, Jess, I wasn't kidding about the wind. It is definitely picking up as we head into the evening hours, but we are still here at the Chips for Kids toy drop-off event at the corner of 28th and Chester. Now, this event ends at 6 p.m., so if you can't come out, you can go to one of those drop-off locations that I mentioned earlier, or they are doing another event next Saturday from 9 to 2 at the East Hills Target. So that's something that you could go and drop off those toys at. Well, but I do want to show you what's going on behind me. So every year, the Kern High School District decorates a bus, and this year it is the David Marcus theme. So you can see there's signs for the David Marcus Thumbs Up Scholarship Foundation. It says Merry Christmas. There's trees. They have the lights. They did a really good job even showing some CHP officers holding a teddy bear. So a really cute way to celebrate the holiday season. But I do want to get back to these winds that we are tracking. Our next storm is slowly making its way toward the region in Northern California right now, going to be pushing down. You can see that there is some precipitation just to our south, and that's where we are getting those strong winds out of. So down at the base of the Grapevine, tracking a wind advisory until 10 p.m. tonight, and in the West Side Hills, they are going to be seeing that wind advisory until 7 a.m. tomorrow. Already along the Grapevine, they have seen wind gusts reaching 63 miles per hour. But thankfully, that means another day of good air quality tomorrow. You can expect that as we head into your weekend. But this system is going to be sweeping through, bringing the chance for those scattered showers throughout most of your Saturday. That's starting just after 2 to 4 p.m., continuing for your Sunday. And it looks like we could be seeing some light showers as we head into your Monday as well. But Monday mostly going to be clearing. That does bring the return threat of fog, especially across the San Joaquin Valley. So that's something that we'll be tracking as we get closer, but just something to keep in mind as you are driving to work early next week. As for temperatures, they are going to be near seasonal, and we will be seeing those dry conditions and increase in winds on Wednesday as the system passes just through our north. But we are going to be cooling down as the storm sweeps through. The coldest time is going to be on Sunday on the back end of that front, but then we are going to be seeing that clear air for most of the weekend, but tracking that threat for fog. So something to keep in mind. But again, this is such a great event. So if you do have a chance to donate, we will be out here until 6 p.m. But if not, you can make it to their next event, which will be next Saturday. So something fun, and the kids enjoy it, especially the bikes that they have over there. The kids love those. Back to you, Jess.
All right, Allison, sounds good. Thanks for that. Well, Costco is known for selling things in bulk, and now a popular plant-based burger will be one of those things. Beyond Meat has announced it will offer its burgers in a pack of 8 for the first time compared to its usual 2. The product will cost $15, but won't be at every Costco store. The exact locations haven't been announced yet. Brands like Kroger, Nestle, and Kellogg have also started testing sales for their plant-based burgers. The traditional Yule log could smell a lot like a famous bucket of fried chicken. The KFC fire log mixes the aromas of 11 herbs and spices to permeate throughout your home. It's backed by popular demand at Walmart.com. Last year, the unique holiday log sold out in just a few hours. So spread some unconventional cheer with a bucket of extra crispy KFC next to your extra crispy fire. Interesting. Let us know if you buy one of those. That's going to do it for this digital edition newscast of 23 ABC News at 5. We'll be back for another digital newscast at 6 o'clock. Until then, good night.